Okay, so today's lesson will be on managing planes in Mastercam, and as I was saying, the planes by setting up individual planes that represent our indexes and our movements of the axis in Mastercam, we'll be able to verify this, and it'll look just like it's going to look in the machine. So that's critical for troubleshooting any tool paths, so that we can check for collisions or anything uh, anything along those lines. All right, so you can go as far as simulating your work holding in Mastercam. You can simulate machine, tool holder. All right, the stick out length of the tools, the shank diameters of the tools, all of these different aspects to make verification the most accurate. All right, and the reason for that is, of course, to look for collisions or look for gouging or any kind of problems you would have when you actually start to run these parts. All right, so that's a valuable part of Mastercam, is the verification and the ability to prove these things out. In the old days, before Mastercam was popular and the capabilities of the cam systems were what they are, they used to use machinable wax. They would put a piece of wax in the machine and cut the tool path into that, because if a tool holder collided with it, or the shank of the tool or something, it wasn't going to damage it. But obviously, you'd have to go back and edit your program and then start with another piece of wax. So the simulation in the software is a big time saver, and it's important exponentially as we get into multi-axis, all right, fourth axis and fifth axis work. It's all got to be verified for collision. So that's an important part of the process. All right, so that's going to be today's lesson. I'm going to use a file called indexing. You can find that in the module in Canvas. That's for the fourth axis planes. So there's a downloadable Parasolid file. If you'll have to open that with Mastercam. So you open that file in Mastercam, and then we're going to do the programming. The mission will be the Mastercam file complete. All right, and then we're also still working on the rotor project. So that's going to be due at the end of the week. There's a quiz for today. Is in Canvas. All right, it's on the fourth axis. Today's pretty much going to wrap up the fourth axis, and we're going to be moving into the live tool aid. All right, so the file for today's lesson is in Canvas in a module called managing planes. All right, so this is what it's going to look like. Let me go over here, right here. All right, so it's going to you're looking.
How do you open it up in Canvas? Because I'm having a little issue.
You can't open it in Canvas. You got to open it in Mastercam. So
okay, that's what I mean. Open it in Canvas. Would you be able to show us how to do it also?
Yeah, you should be able to drag it right into Mastercam, or copy and paste it, because it's a Parasolid file. So you need Mastercam to open it. So let me see if so this is what you're looking for, and it's in all right, so I'm going to share my my screen so we can, maybe I can show you how to load that. Let's see here. This one.
Yeah, mine ain't working either.
All right.
What's it called again?
It's called. It's a. Did you find the module? The module's called Managing Planes, or Manage Planes in Mastercam,
Using planes in Mastercam.
or using planes. All right. And there's a link there to a Parasolid file.
Got it.
All right. So can you drag that into Mastercam?
No, I tried that. It doesn't work. It doesn't open either.
Huh. All right. Let's see. Maybe I can email it to you. All right. Let me sign off here for a minute. I'll see. Maybe I can send it out as an email.
It worked. It worked for me, Bradley. What you have to do once you download it, it's gonna show up on your download bar.
Yeah.
And then open the folder. You have to, like, when you click on the arrow up, it's gonna say show in folder. Just press where it says show folder, and then literally that blank program that it shows there, just literally drag it to Mastercam. It's gonna open up there.
Okay. Yeah, I'll see if I can do that, man. I'll try that.
That's
So
what I just did, and it worked.
It downloads in a folder.
Yeah, well, anytime you download anything from anywhere on Chrome or Internet Explorer or whatever, it's gonna download into a folder that's literally called downloads. So once you go into that folder, then you drag them from that folder into Mastercam.
All right. Yeah, I'll see if I can figure it out quick here.
All right. Try
All
that.
right, Mastercam's open.
All right. I'm going to sign off here for a minute. I'll be right back.
Yeah, that worked for me too, Richard.
All right, I'm back, guys. Had to switch computers.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I guess it worked. Yeah, I guess it did work. It worked. Thanks, Rich.
You got it, bro.
Why's everything got to be so
You should
fucking
have
difficult?
model here, right?
Brad, I think it's just hard for you because you're not used to computers.
Probably. All right, I got it.
Because you don't exactly seem like the computer nerd guy, you know?
No, I do not, Nick. That is correct.
Try what did I do?
So it's the user using planes and Mastercam practical, or is it the
Using planes in Mastercam practical, yes.
Okay.
That's the module, right? And then there's a link there for
indexing XT.
right. It's going to be this. That's a Parasolid, X_T.
Yeah. And then I just need to set it to open in Mastercam
Okay.
after I download it, right?
Yep. So then you should get this image that's on the screen here.
You know, you can open a Parasolid. There's a 3D editor in Windows 10. I don't know if you can open XT files though.
Okay. For that, I don't know. I don't have Windows 10 here, so.
I didn't either for a while, and then they had a free upgrade from Windows 7 to Windows 10.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I did that because I didn't want to pay for Windows 10.
I should do that then. That's what this. My computer's Windows 7.
That was a couple years ago. I don't know if it's still good. I'll have to ask my dad.
Okay.
Or
all right. So, anybody still trying to download the file, or?
There we
I
go.
got it.
Yeah, I'm good.
Doing all right, yeah. All right,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna bring up. So what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna bring up another example of a 4-axis file, and I'm gonna share that with you. I just want to go over some of the the layout of it because that's kind of what we're gonna create for the indexing.
Ed says you can still upgrade if you want to, Mr. Hagar.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll look into that. Thanks.
It's gonna take forever though, but you can do it. Just FYI.
Yeah, it'll take forever, but somehow it is a little bit worth it because you're using Windows 10 pretty much everywhere else. So.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. I'm just giving a heads up. Like, don't do it like tonight, saying that it's gonna be like ready by like tomorrow. Like, it might take
like Saturday. Do it on a day where you don't need your computer.
Basically.
Right. Yeah. It could take all day.
Whoa.
Okay. So this is another example of a fourth axis job this is shown in a vise here. All right. So everybody seeing that?
I'm seeing it. I don't know if I believe it, but I'm seeing it.
So what I want to show you here is just the format. All right. So that we know what we're trying to follow with the indexing. All right. So let's look over here at the toolpath manager. I'll drag it out here in the middle so we can see it. All right, and let me expand it a little bit so we can see what's going on here. So this is just one suggestion of how how this could be organized. All right, so you can see up here, if we close this up, we've got
Did you use a feature-based mill on this, or is it different?
No, I don't think so. I think it was pretty.
Because it does look very familiar from what I was using FBM.
All right, so when you open your original toolpath, you're going to get this this header, right? It's going to say what does it say when you first open it up there?
Usually says like machine 1 or something like that.
Right, yeah. Machine group, right?
Machine
so
group
you're going to
1.
have machine group up here, and then you're going to have toolpath group down here. And you're going to have the properties in between. So you're going to get one of these, a machine group and a toolpath group. All right, so in this case here, I'm naming them. All right, so if you click on it, you can name it. So this is the part number for this part. All right, and I put a note here that's on a rotary axis. All right, so everything below here is all for this specific part on that rotary axis. Now, the properties, there's only one set of properties. All right, and they stay with the machine group. But the toolpath groups, you can create multiples. All right, so here I've created a toolpath group for each operation, which in this case is a face of this part. All right, so there's 5 available sides. So there's going to be 5 available sides of the part. So I have a separated toolpath group named for each operation. All right, so and this one has 8 different operations. I'm not sure what the last 2 were, but it's a way of organizing your program so you can keep track of what's going on there. All right, so we're going to use that format when we get into the indexing. The second thing here is if you look at each of these operations. So I'm going to open operation 1. All right, and this has all the facing for operation 1. So this is organized by tool. All right, so the first tool here is a 1/2-inch end mill. So I'm using the 1/2-inch end mill for facing, but I'm doing the facing on all of the available sides. All right, so I'm using the indexing instead of bringing each tool up for each operation on each face. So operation 1 is facing, but you'll see that there's facing on every side of this part. All right, and then we go back. The next operation is putting round pockets in, and they could be on different sides. So this is where the planes is important. All right, to be able to organize your your machining and have this look simulate correctly. All right. So how do we find out what plane we're working on? Well, it's listed up here in the top. All right. So operation 1, this first contour is on tool plane right. All right. So and there's a note there that says face the top. All right. This next one down here is also on tool plane right.
So you're just making a different plane for each contour?
We're going to make a different plane for each face of the part.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So you're just making a custom plane for each face of the part. Okay, that's pretty easy, actually.
So that's how we're gonna do this. All right, so let's take a look at what this one looks like when it simulates. Back out of here. All right, so our stock is translucent. All right, so we can see the model, the solid model of the part through the stock, but this translucent red is the stock. All right, when we go to our simulation, I don't think it'll be translucent. Let's see what we got. No, I didn't select all the operations. All right, let me go back here and select everything. I'll just hit the up here. That selects all the operations. All right, so here's our stock, our tool, and our holder. If you look here, see Z is facing in that direction. So we would probably start this with Z pointed up in the air.
Wait, so you make a face for pretty much every flat plane on the part, right? Or a plane for every flat face on the part?
Well, you can figure that this part's roughly square. So, you're gonna have 4 sides.
You're gonna have 4
front face.
faces, and then do you need a plane for every flat part of the part, or do you need
No?
okay.
All the plane really does is determines the angle that the tool is going to be entering from.
All right. So if you have like a diagonal angle, do you have to do a plane for that or no?
Yeah. Yes.
Like
if you have something that's like, say you had 4 sides, but then there's a 45-degree angle, you'd create another plane 45-degree angle so that would be perpendicular to the machine spindle.
Okay, so you basically, if there's a flat surface that you need to mill, just okay.
Yeah, create a plane so that surface is perpendicular to the spindle. Right, so that gives you your index. That's going to give you your index, so that it's going to index that plane as level, and then you can do the machining on it. But it may actually be creating an angle on the part. But the machine's going to see it as a level surface.
All right, so I'm gonna get started on that while you do the lecture.
All right, so this is there you go. All right, so we're going to cut facing operation. Speed this up a little bit. All right, now Mastercam shows it as the tool moved to the other plane, right? But in reality, the tool, of course, can't do that. So the part would have rotated. So now it's roughing on another plane.
I was just wondering about that, actually.
Yeah, that's the difference between the simulation. Mastercam rotates the tool around the part. In reality, we rotate the part. So we can't run the spindle from the bottom of the part, but Mastercam can.
I'm
Oh, that's
looking at
what.
the practical part, and I'm like, what is this geometry?
See, I thought of that the spindle was in the bottom of the part. See, I almost fooled me.
So in reality, the part would have rotated 180 degrees so that the spindle's still on the top.
Oh, okay.
So while we have this quiet moment, I sent you a direct message about something, Mr. Hager. You can look at that at your leisure.
About the view sheets?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to look at it yet. I'll take a look
Yeah.
at it and see what I can tell you.
Once we're done with this, of course.
Yep. I did get the message, so.
Okay, just making sure.
Yep. All right, so now I made a tool change, and so this would be the additional operation. All right, see, it's going to each plane with each tool. All right, that's required. It's making these circular pockets now. I can make this a little bigger. All right, now I think it's going to do some engraving. This is where my computer really stalls out. Come on.
That's more of a hardware problem than a software problem, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, this computer's not, doesn't have the souped up graphics card or.
Well, apparently
so
neither do we. According to Mr. Gorski, according to what he was talking
Some
to
of us
about.
don't have the right graphics card, yeah.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
Nagorski. But I talked to Noriega. He said my class that came in does have the right one. Apparently.
Must be nice.
Yeah, it does. It just takes a while.
And Rich, honestly, on my computer, like my personal computer, my graphics card blows these out of the water. So
And I'm
I
just
just don't want to run
here with
Mastercam on it.
And I'm just sitting here with a VR capable laptop.
That's the right tool for the job.
Yeah, Ed's just sitting there with a laptop that probably costs tuition.
I honestly can't remember how much this laptop cost, but it was actually a really.
Find
What
a
was that?
receipt or something. You look hard enough, you'll find a receipt.
But it was actually a very pleasant surprise that this thing could run VR.
I don't know why you want to run VR on a laptop, but
Because my desktop can't. Because I have an ancient processor that I still... If I'm going to upgrade the processor, I also have to upgrade the motherboard and probably the RAM, and it's going to be a big pain in the wallet.
This is doing some surface milling here now, so it's a little time. Come on. See if we can jump ahead. So you see those different angles that the tool is approaching the part. All right, those are probably the 7th and 8th plane that we see there, are those different angles. All right, so each of those is established on a separate plane.
So I'm guessing that you have one plane that you're not using at all? Like it's that back plane you're not using at all?
Well,
Because of the
that's your world coordinate system. All right, we leave that alone. That's set through the center of the part, so that's going to be your work coordinate. All right, when you set this job up, we're going to set X, Y, 0 right through the center of the rotary. So that you leave alone. All right, and then everything else is referenced to that. So when this finishes this verification, we're gonna take a look at the planes page so we can see how it's organized.
No, I was just saying because there's a plane in the back that you're not using. There's an actual like a whole face that you're not using, so you just leave one alone.
Oh yeah, it will be like where the stock is held on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't use that one because that's there's interference there. There's
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just make
vice
it
there.
so that I don't
All right,
use the left side. I only use the right side.
So that's the end of the verification. So you see we've got all of our sides are machined. All right, and that would have rotated multiple times because each tool it goes through all of the rotations for each tool, so that we get less tool changes and we hit all of the available sides with the tool while it's in the spindle. All right, so that's the verification. So that's what we're after. We want to be able to watch it and see each of its rotations and to check for clearance on the tools and check to make sure we're not gouging anything, they have enough retract, and not so when we move from side to side, we're not leaving a mark in the part or breaking off a tool or something. All right, so that's where the verification is important. All right, so I'm going to close this verification window, come back over here to my job. And I'm going to go, instead of tool paths, I want to see my planes. All right, so this is one of the areas where the versions are different. All right, so what I see here might be a little bit different than if you guys are on 2020 or 2019.
2019.
I think 2019 might have been the same.
And
All right,
from what I've seen, it's about the same.
So it should be, if we go into view, all right, this is what's going to be shown here. So right now, the only thing shown is tool paths. If I turn on planes, then it's going to toggle at the bottom here, right? We have tabs at the bottom, so I can go back and forth between tool paths and planes. So this is my my plane window here. So when you start out with a new file, you have these planes up here, all right? Top, front, back, bottom, right side, left side, and then isometric.
I have a
The rest
sixth
of the,
plane.
yeah, well, there's 6 different available sides.
I know.
So,
I was making a 6th dimension joke.
Yeah. So you can use those for your part, but there's a few problems with using those already named planes. So what I like to do is just create my own set. All right, so that I'm not actually using any of those. So I start to create planes and name them based on the operations that I'm going to use them for. All right, so here I created operation 1 is the top, operation 2 is the front, 3 is the bottom. All right, now these in here, operation 5 is an angle between side 1 and 2. All right, operation 2 is an angle between sides 2 and 3. All right, so that's just how I labeled these. So if I click on one of these,
So
and I make,
so you just make them all the same offset, but different WC or same WCS, but like
they're all based off the same WCS, because remember we don't want to physically move this part in the machine. We just want to rotate it.
Okay. So
Right,
you're just
so-
basing them all off the same WCS. So you just
So I
set the
want to
WCS
set
to one thing and then make all the.
Yeah, I want to set one work offset, at the center of my rotary. So I want to touch off the face of my dock to find the center of the rotary, set that as my work offset, and I want everything else relative to that. So that's what my WCS is. That's going to be they call that the world coordinate system. All right. But it's generally, it's going to be your work offset when you're doing rotary. All right. If you were going to do this job in a vise and we were going to actually flip it each time and put it up against a stop, all right, then you would set work offsets for all the different corners. All right. But since we're doing it in a rotary, we're going to set the work offset at the center of the rotary and make everything relative to that. So if I select another plane and I make my my construction plane and my tool plane equal to that, all right, I should get let's see, I should get a different view here. All right, now let's see here. I want my
Just for the practical, I'm labeling all the planes that I'm using for the toolpaths to toolpath. Like I'm labeling them toolpath planes,
okay.
just so I know what they are.
Yeah.
I'll probably find out a better system later, but
Yeah, I mean, you can experiment with different ways of labeling it and organizing it. All right, and that's what you'll find if you to because everybody has a little different systems of organizing these. All right, but what I want to go through today is just get you used to setting a plane and having some kind of system of organizing it.
sorry about that.
All right, so
All right. All right. Okay, I see how you have it set up. That makes sense. How'd you set up that little curve in the part at the front?
this is surface milled.
That's just surface milled, like you have it.
Yeah,
You have
so
it set on an angle from one piece, and then you just surface mill it.
yeah, let's
Or-
see if let's take a look at it here.
Or did you make like a parallel plane or something? I'm kind of confused on how you did that.
We'll go to tool planes. Tool planes. Bottom drilling, top pocket, pockets. Let me close some of these. These are all the face. Close these up. All right, so top pocket deep. Here's some surface milling here. So let's grab one of these and see if we can see it.
So essentially, you're just doing like a bajillion 2D contours.
Yeah, have you done any surface milling where you would actually choose that whole surface and then it's going to create a path to cover that whole surface?
I've not. I haven't done any
Okay.
3D milling in general.
Okay, so that
Well, I wasn't supposed to have done 3D milling. I've done some.
yeah,
I have.
well, the project that we're doing, that's 3D milling. So you'll see on that project, the
rotor?
helical rotor. So
Yeah.
they select the surface of that helical rotor and then create a surface milling tool. And they actually do that one 3 times. I think they take it and then transform it to the 3 different sides. They rotate that 120 degrees and then duplicate it. That is a surface milling project. So anyway, this one here. So see, I'm on an operation called Operation 6. It's the angle between sides 3 and 4. So that's basically was a straight line across this. All right, so that's what determined this rotation. So if the tool was perpendicular to the spindle, right, your spindle's perpendicular. So this would be the rotated position of the part, and then the rest of this is done with the surface milling operation. So let me drag this down, and we can watch so you can see so the only movement there is up and down and left and right with the spindle. All right, there's no rotational movement in that tool path. It's just already been positioned.
There's no A.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So once you get it into position, then it makes up the rest of it in X, Y, and Z moves. There's no A rotation moves there, and it does that whole surface. All right. So each of these tool paths is going to go to some rotation of that part. All right, so let's just go back to the planes here a minute. All right, so that's why there's so many. That's why there's 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, because it's additional angled points to gain access to other parts of that job. All right, so let's switch over now to the indexing project, and I'll get you started on that, and then you guys can work on it on your own. So the goal would be to do the machining of that index part, and then turn in the Mastercam file at some point today. Right,
it looks like you're significantly less now.
Looks like what?
Our significantly complex in this one, though.
It's easier than this one. This was a little more complicated. More sides. All right, so let me close this out.
Because everyone's roboting like crazy on my end.
Oh my god, even the lady telling me roboting.
Yeah, no, I just checked my internet. It's fine, but everyone's roboting like crazy. I don't know if it's like there's a server problem with Big Blue Button or something. Or...
Oops.
You're the only one who isn't roboting. For me.
Cool. Because everyone else is roboting for me too. Oh god.
With the microphone?
Yeah, roboting is when you cut in and out like crazy.
So is mine doing that?
Occasionally, yeah. I think someone's internet's a little spotty. Either that or there's a problem with the server at Big Blue Button. I'm not 100% sure. Because I just checked my internet and it was like fine. So.
Okay, well, we'll do the best we can here. So here's our project for today. So we should have downloaded this, all right, and we want to view our planes. So again, up to the view in our selection, right, we can set planes, and this is what we'll have. So I'm going to bring it out here in the middle.
God, I am way too used to what do you call it? I'm way too used to Mastercam.
All right. So again, these are the planes
Not
that it gives you to start with. All right, top, front, back, bottom, right side. And if you right click, right, they're listed over here, so you can quickly jump to your view of those. All right, if we don't use these, then you can't use that right click to select them either. But I'm gonna create my own set of planes. All right, so to do that, I go up
Are we
here to this
using-
little.
Are we using brass for this, Mr. Hager?
What's that?
Are we using brass for this for the stock setup?
For the material?
Yeah,
You can if you want.
cool.
You
I'm
can
gonna
use-
try that.
It looks
If
like
there's not brass in here, there's Inconel. You can make this out of Inconel.
Yeah, we can. Mastercam will cut it easily. Not so much when you get it in the machine.
Exactly. So I'm gonna just stick with aluminum 6061 for now.
Yeah.
Material. No.
All right. So before I get started making toolpaths, I'm going to make some planes. All right. So it's if I hit this little plus here, I'm going to make a new plane from a solid face. All right. There's a few different ways of making planes. I want to use a solid face because I have a solid part. All right. So I'm going to select this top one here. And this selection here indicates which way these arrows are pointing. All right. So if I'm looking at my part, I want to make sure that that my coordinates are correct. All right. So my part is sitting in the indexer like this. So X would be along the table. All right. Y would be across, and Z would be up and down. All right. So that's what I want. If this did not match what I wanted, then I could find a different selection, and that's what these arrows are for. All right. So I could set it like this. All right. In this case, Y would be the table. So if I was setting up as a B axis along the Y axis, I could use this one. All right. I could use this one here. Y is this way. All right. This is more or less the same thing as what I am using. All right. Here we've got Y along the table. This one, Z is pointed down. All right. So we want to make sure that we get the axis the way we're the way it matches our machine. So X this way, Y that way, Z up. So I'm going to check that as okay. Now I can give my new plane a name. So I'm going to call it op1. And here is where we can set the origin point for it. All right, so I want to set up my origin point so that I'm using the center of my rotary. Right. So really the only thing that's going to change is going to be the Z height. All right, because every plane is going to use the same center of the rotary. All right, so I'm going to set these to zeros because 0, X0, Y0, Z0 here matches my my WCS. All right, where the crosshairs are right here. That's that location. So from there, the only thing different I want is my Z height. All right, so I'm going to set X to 0, Y to 0, and then my Z height is 2 inches. All right, which you got that from the plane. So I'm going to leave that alone. So, and I'll set this one.
I may have messed that up. I'm gonna change most of my planes. Oh
All
no.
right, So basically what it allows me to do now is to machine this face, all right, and this little pocket up here, using this face Z0, all right.
You want X and Y to be 0 and Z to be 2 inches, right?
Right. Z was the 2 inches from this. Yep.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to call that Operation 1. You know, I should be a little bit more definitive with the name. So let me click in here and I can change the name of it. Well, so I'm going to
Wait, do you
call
want
it
that to be a true on everything?
What's that?
Do you want that to be true on everything, or just the planes that are like perpendicular to the?
Well, we got to make a plane for each different. Whenever we want to rotate the part so that surface becomes the working surface, like we're going to need a plane for these holes on each side.
Yeah,
We're
so
gonna
does
need a
the
plane
X,
over
Y,
here.
Z change for that, or does it just?
No,
the
we're going to
same?
leave the XY the same because we're using one central work coordinate system. So the only thing really that's going to change is going to be our Z's. All right, but you're
Okay.
also going to get a rotational movement. All right, so
Yeah. I'm just gonna wait until you do it so I can see what you did.
all right, so, all right, so I'm just going to name this, and we're going to make our construction and tool plane equal to that. All right, so now you can see we have another crosshair up here. All right, this is our work coordinate for that Operation 1. All right, so we're going to program that based on that coordinate system. All right, now I'm going to make another one. So I'm going to take the part and I'm going to roll it in Mastercam. All right, until I can see this side over here. And I'm going to make another plane from a solid face. I'm going to pick that face. All right. Z is good. Y is good. X is good. So, okay, that.
And Mr. Hagar, so when you created a new plane, where do you click? Because I tried to click on the hole and it didn't. You just gave me like a.
Rich, you don't
This
click on the hole, you click on the solid
little
part.
plus up here.
No, I did. I pressed that.
Okay. All right. You just got to get that somewhere on that surface.
Let me see.
Don't click the hole, click the surface.
Okay, I got it. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, you see on either side of the hole there's a surface?
Well, yeah, no, it's just that I clicked this like really on the hole, and I guess it didn't. So
Yeah.
it wasn't supposed to be on the hole. Okay, I got it.
Because it'll center it automatically to the center of that plane. Pretty
Word.
much.
Awesome.
So the same thing here. I'm going to set X and Y to 0, and I'm going to leave the Z height where it's at. All right.
That looks really weird.
What's
I'm
that?
gonna be honest. That looked really weird. I'm going to be honest.
And then we got to name this one. Let's see. We're going to name this. Let's see. If this was straight, we'll call it. We'll call this Bank 1.
So those aren't in line with the face anymore once you put them in X and Y to 0, right? That's supposed to happen?
It's supposed to. It's going to create an X and a Y 0 point on that the edge of this face.
Yeah, so it's not gonna be on the edge of that face. It's gonna be a little bit below that face. It looks like.
Well, it's in line with the original WCS. So let's see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Up to,
Okay. So when you
and
do
I'm
that
gonna call it-
surface, you're just gonna add a couple of like an inch or so so that it actually does the surface and not like the plane, right? You're not going to do it at Z0, basically.
Okay,
Am I
so my
So now
get
I'm setting.
my gizmo isn't showing up at that corner. Does
Yeah,
it
it's
need
not
to?
showing up at that corner at all. Like, mine's doing something completely different.
Does it need to?
So
I'm confused.
are you setting your construction and tool plane equal to it?
Yeah, maybe my
Yeah.
Y is on the wrong side or something.
Is it on the wrong? Well, all right. So go back in and
My Y is going towards the WCS.
so are you seeing a Y0 down here?
Yeah, it's all X, Y, Z0. It's just like,
Well, Z shouldn't be.
or
Z should
Z
be
is not
whatever.
zero. No, it's X, Y, 0.
So X, Y's are 0.
Yeah, but it's like it moved it in a weird way. I don't know why. I'm gonna have to delete those the two
Yeah,
planes.
let me
I've
try
made.
it again.
Yeah, but try it again.
Is there an option to just kind of click on a point and use that as our origin when we're setting this up?
Well, for our WCS origin, your part should be on the center, right? It should have came in that way.
5. So there's 5 planes there. All right, so you do from solid face. Roll it over here. Click on the solid. So Y should be pointing down towards the what do you call it? It should
For
be
this plane that I just created.
So X is 0, Y is 0. It still does it. That's really friggin' weird. Y is I don't know how to explain it. Y is pointing down towards the line, like towards the bottom of the part, basically, like on a diagonal.
All right,
It's just
so
weird. I put it to 0 and it doesn't do that.
well, maybe your axis are pointing in the right direction. Remember, there's a choice of which way you want the axis.
Yeah, the XY plane is on that what do you call it? Is on that face though. You know what I mean?
Right, so you can show Noman here too if you. It just shows.
All right, so
let
let me make it isometric so I can roll it around. So if I do this from solid face, click the solid face, plane motivate, yes. What direction should the Y be pointing in? The Noman Y.
The Z should be pointing straight up.
The Z's just
right?
straight up.
All right. The x-axis is running the length of the part.
Yes.
So then the Y should be crossing that.
The Y is crossing that, but it's crossing it from left to right instead of left to right, basically.
All right. Well, try it.
I just tried it again. It's really weird. It's not actually like what it's doing is it's putting it inside the part, and for some reason it looks like it's changing the Z.
Maybe did you click on a hole? Maybe you didn't click on the.
No, I didn't click on a hole. I clicked on the flat part towards the back of the part.
Oh yeah. And you moved to 3 inches because it comes in with X 3 inches, but then I was moving it out to 0 to the face.
Yeah, no, X0, right?
Yeah.
And then when I do Y0, it puts it inside the part for some reason.
And Z is 1.9445.
Why is it 1.625? Why is it setting it to 1.625? Shouldn't be.
What happens if we if we leave Y alone and make Z 0? No, that's already not a good idea.
No, but yeah, for some reason, it's not setting it to that. It's setting it to a different. It's really weird. I don't know why it's setting it to a different height.
What is the Z supposed to be then?
According to my model, Z is 1.945.
Yeah, wait. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can show the Noman and see what's going on.
Here.
Where is
Shows
that?
it up here. Up in here. In view, show Nomans. You drop this down.
Yeah. All right. So click on that.
Deal.
Yeah, my Z keeps showing up the 1.625 every time I redo it too.
Yeah, it's really strange. You're doing this all from the top plane, right? Basically.
Yeah, right now my WCS is on the top.
All right. So your
I
WCS is
have-
on the top plane from solid face. This. Yes. Yeah, 1.625. Why is it doing that? It shouldn't be.
You're not getting a side face over here, are you?
No, I'm getting
You're
the.
getting one of these little angled faces. Because the side one might be at 1.625.
No, because I'm doing the angle faces that you're doing. I'm doing the same face that you're doing.
Well,
No.
I'm doing the exact same face you're doing. I don't know why it's not doing it.
Well, the 1.625 might be
Oh,
correct,
okay.
depending on if your model didn't come in on the same
What is
center.
this again?
It looks like it
Wow.
did,
Yeah,
honestly.
we're
Like,
all gonna have
I'm putting it in.
with all the trees falling down.
Basically,
around
if it was
us.
supposed, if it was XY0, right? It should be
Yeah, I
coming in
know,
the same
scary.
on. It should be coming in the same as yours
It's
in
happening.
general.
No, it's not happening.
It's
Yeah.
not.
It's less than.
Try them at
That's
a
the
point. Go to
happening.
home and analyze a distance and analyze from the center
Yeah.
up to that corner there and see what your Z height is.
ZI is 1375.
I think I got it.
I think so.
All
Yeah,
right,
I
so
am.
I'm running Mastercam 2019. So for me, I had to choose the reselect button and then move it to the point of origin that we need. You might have a different button. Like you're rocking
I think I know what you
2017,
mean,
so
Ed.
all right.
So reselect and then select the point, the origin point.
Bingo.
What do you mean? Basically, like.
Press the reselect button and it'll let you move your Nomon.
Yeah, no, I'm moving the Nomen. I just don't know where to put it. Do you put it in the middle of that line?
I put it at the intersection point where Mr. Hager's got it, where it's the three lines meeting that spot at the bottom left corner of the thingy we're working on. That's where it needs to go, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem because there's no selection point for that.
There's a selection point for me. You just got to look for it.
Why is Y positive? It should be negative, shouldn't it?
Why 0?
No, I mean like when you start, it should be negative so that it moves towards the center point. Am I incorrect in thinking that?
I didn't notice where it was. Let me do the other one here. Let me go back this way. And we'll create another plane from a solid face. And I'm going to pick that face.
Yeah, your
G's
Y
up.
is pointing up. Yeah. Was it pointing up on the other side too?
So,
Is your Y pointing up towards the left or the right?
well, that's correct. It's, the Y, that's the Y axis.
That's what I'm thinking.
Perpendicular
I
to
think
the
maybe
X.
my Y-axis is in the wrong direction.
So you can flip it.
How does one
see.
flip?
You can go. That's not right either.
Oh. Okay. So I'm gonna try that. See what happens.
So you could have it like that, where Y is it should be the same thing. I think it's going to make any difference.
I'm gonna try it just to see what happens.
Oh. So here I've got a positive Y. I'm going to set this at 0. I'm going to set this at 0. I'm going to name this plane.
Yeah, it still did it. I don't know why it still did it like that. It's putting it inside the part for some reason, and I don't know why, and it's really frustrating.
Yeah.
Why is it doing that? It shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, mine's doing the same thing as you, Nick.
What the fuck is it? What is it thinking?
So where? Let me see if you can share your screen.
Real quick, which direction do we need our Nomen to be going for bank 2 or bank 2? First selection, right?
The Z should be pointing up. We're not sure why it's not working.
All right, I got it then. Thank you.
So where is it putting your?
It's putting it on the center line, so it's keeping it at the same Z height, right?
Yeah.
As when you click on it, but it's moving it over towards the center, and that the center of the gnomon is on the center Y line if you're looking from the top.
I think you should share the screen like that. We can all see it.
Yeah, well, no one can figure out how to use that. So,
All right, let's see if we can do it. We got that's it. Sharing the screen. Huh. There's a way of doing it.
yeah, let me look it up. I think you have to make me like the presenter or something.
Yeah.
You can make me
Yeah,
the
that's it.
presenter, and then I can share the screen.
I don't know how to do it though.
If you click on me, you can set status or something
Mr.
like that.
Gorski usually does this in a breakout room for privacy purposes.
Yeah, well, this time we need to figure out for multiple people. So I think if you click on my icon on the left,
He has to be the one to share it.
yeah,
over here.
it should say make presenter somewhere. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. All right.
There we go. So now I can share screen or something.
All right. See if you can share it then.
Would that be actions? Start a poll? No, that's not it.
No, it's one of the. It's down here with the next to the
Is it the plus
microphone
button?
and no.
Oh no.
All
there
these
it is.
other ones.
Share your screen. Application window. Just say it. Mastercam. Share. Okay. So I'm gonna do everything the way you told me, right? So it's gonna be from the top plane plus from solid face. Click on this. Right? I'm just gonna leave it like that. And then if I do X0, Y0, does that. You see what I mean, Mr. Hagar?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing it. Why is it doing that? Huh.
So I'm trying to figure out.
Huh.
I don't see any particular reason why it should be doing that.
No. All right, let's do it again.
You want me to do the whole thing again?
Yeah, let's do the same thing again. We
All right.
All right,
This-
so well, hold on, wait a minute. All right, so you're in isometric?
Yeah, I had the Nomen and isometric, I guess.
All right, let's go to
Just so
the
I can see
top
it.
now. Yeah, just roll it on your screen so you can see it. Don't use the isometric.
All right, like that, and then do.
All right, now let's try it. So from a face, and you're gonna. Did you pick the face?
Yeah, I picked the face. There's a little bit of lag, I think. I did it again.
Okay. So why
The
would it
same thing.
move it over there? All right, go back to your planes. All right, now see here.
Relative to WCS, maybe.
No,
Or-
you don't want to move to WCS. Are you on the plane that you saw that you created?
No, I deleted that plane pretty much.
So you got to create it and give it a name.
All right, so it was
So
really
go
laggy.
through it again. Create your new plane.
Solid face, like the flat face. This one, plane 1 of 8. Yes.
All right, so give it a name.
Path to right. Okay.
All right, so that X and Y is 0. So it's still seeing Z as 125. Why is it seeing that as
1625.
Yeah,
It's,
1625.
Hmm.
Why is it down there?
It's sticking on that Z
Maybe if I
grid
put
line.
it
It's
there.
not moving to the face.
All right, so drag that box up a little more.
Which box?
This where you're filling in the selections. Can you drag that whole thing up higher?
This
Yeah, if you hook it up there where it says new plane, can you drag the whole box up? There might be other selections at the bottom.
Oh, you mean I don't know what you mean. You mean to scroll down. I'm at the bottom right now.
That's the bottom
is
of the
the bottom.
box.
Yeah, this is the bottom of the box.
All right, so they changed the look of this thing. What's the difference now? So why is that picking up 1625? Change that number in there to 19445. 1.9445.
Yeah, it still changed it. Like it's still in the middle of the part.
So it's the middle of the part.
That's so weird, man. Like it didn't happen to me when I put the plane up in it.
All right, so okay out of that box.
Okay.
And so where's that one? Toolpath.
Toolpath to right.
That's the one there. So
Yeah.
see where it says C and T? Click on the column for C and T. So now it should show you your Nomen related to that plane.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be.
It doesn't seem to be in the right place. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Wait.
So
XYZ
where's your
origin.
WCS?
Is it the top plane? Why is the XYZ? I just noticed if you look at the. This is a 000, but is it? Where is it centered on the part in your? What do you call it?
That's where it belongs. the middle of that part. So I don't know why it's not picking that plane up. That's the correct one there. So where is that?
Oh. Wait a second. Now it worked. This is
I think it's there. You're just not viewing it correctly.
Yeah, something's really weird with the thing. So basically you have to go into here and edit it on the planes menu instead of while you're making the plane. It looks like.
And it looks like those are the right ones.
You see what I mean? Like what I did was I edited it here instead of going through.
Okay.
Here. There might be a glitch. See, there's a little bit of a glitch here.
All right. Well, now it's got the right number. See, now it actually put in the 9445538 or whatever was there. Right, you didn't type all that in there.
No, I didn't type all that in there.
So it got it from the model. So you got the right point now.
I feel like you have to do from a solid face, and then you have to go here, and then just like name it, and then click OK, and then edit it in the planes menu.
Well, that'll work. Yeah, I don't know why it's not getting those numbers that way.
Let's just use that as a workaround for now because
yeah,
it
didn't used to have that choice. That's how you used to do it. You used to pick it and create the plane and then edit it here in the planes menu.
I really don't feel like trying to figure out what's actually wrong. You know.
All right, so you got a way of doing it. So is there anybody else struggling with that same issue?
No, I'm good.
I was struggling
watching
with it.
you guys.
I mean, I had the same issue, but I did find a solution. I'm just not sure if it's actually going to work.
Here, I'm going to make you the presenter again, Mr. Hagar.
All right, thanks.
I think actually you might have to make yourself the presenter again because you're the host.
Okay, let me see.
Because I don't have an option for it when I click on your. I only have start a public chat. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
All right, so now that we figured that out.
Yeah.
I was able to get mine working.
Strange. That's
very strange. I don't know why it did that.
All right, so we created a couple of planes. So let me just do a little bit of programming here, and then you guys can experiment with. All right. So I've got some planes on my list.
Come on.
So ordinarily, I would create all the planes that I'm going to need for the job
wait a second.
before I start programming. All right. In this case, I'm going to jump ahead now to the programming portion to get you started. All right. So
I see what the problem is now.
Okay.
It's flipping when you're in the edit, right? It's flipping the Y and the Z. I just noticed that. So yeah, just I guess flip it in your head or something. I don't know.
So if you edit it here in the planes menu,
if you're editing it in the new plane tab, if you look in the planes tab, the X and the Z, the numbers are flipped.
Huh.
You know what I mean?
I don't know why it would do that, but
I just noticed that while I was messing around with it. Oh man, the coffee went cold.
All right, well, just verify it here. Once you've created your plane, verify that you're on X0, Y0, and your Z should reflect the height of that plane from the WCS. And you can go back and verify that if you need to. All right, so let's move on to how we use this in programming. All right, so I'm going to select the machine. First I'm going to toggle from my planes over to my toolpaths. Right now I got nothing in there because I haven't selected a machine yet. So I'm going to get my mill. I'll use the generic, the default. All right, so I'm going to name the top here the machine group. I'm going to call it the index part practical. And I have toolpath group 1. So I can click this.
So we're naming it toolpath group practical or something?
What's that?
Toolpath part practical or something like that?
What I call it. Index part practical.
Or index.
Yeah, because we're indexing this.
Index.
So I'm going to name my first tool group operation 1. All right, I'm going to set up my properties. So I need some stock. All right, so let's.
Tool settings are the same as they've always been, right? From material and then.
Yeah, you can do that. So I'm going to use cylindrical stock because we're working with a rotary, so we'll make it out of a piece of round stock. So let's do
Cylindrical.
I'm not sure the dimensions of this thing. Let's try a 4-inch stock, and we'll make it 6 inches long, and we'll go over here.
I must be really desperate. I'm microwaving a cup of coffee so it doesn't, so I can get it warm again.
Quarantine makes men do strange things.
Oh, I've done some strange things in quarantine. For instance, I'm doing schoolwork.
Oops.
I could be doing something completely different.
So, Mr. Hager, you have the stock origin speed in all 0?
What's that?
The stock origins I just saw on your screen, you put everything at 0?
That's where it is now, but now I'm looking at it and I've got to put a negative in the X. All right, so, but see, that stock's not big enough. I'm not getting the bottom corners. So I'm going to go back in there.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Let's go back in here and we'll make it inch stock. And I'm going to make the X minus 6 inches. So now we should get there.
Wait, so what were your settings to stock again? It was.
Now I use 6-inch stock. It looks like it fits on that.
6 inches long or something like that?
Yeah, 6 diameter. I used 5-inch diameter, 6 inches long.
Well, mine isn't centering right.
5-inch by 6 inches. And then what was your stock origin? Is it different than the work origin or not?
I put the stock origin at X minus 6 inches so that the face of the stock is 0.
All right, Mr. Hager, something happened here. So on my stock setup, when I first opened it, my Z was originally a -2. And right now I just put the Z at 0. And I guess the 0 of my part is all the way on the top. So my cylinder is like halfway through the stock there. So
my cylinder's not showing up. Fun. To the
Oh, I had the wrong work coordinate setup chosen. I need to start over.
stock setup. It's from the top.
All right, so I'm sorry, Richard, was there?
Yeah, so essentially on my stock
yeah,
setup, when I first opened it, I have my X and Y being 0, but I have my Z being a -2. So when I change it to 0, then the stock setup show the cylinder like in the very like the stock itself being half of the actual model that we downloaded from
Can we not make this a little bigger? like longer,
Yeah, hold up.
like the stock.
Well, the stock origin is gonna, like, I put my stock origin at -6 inches, so it took, instead of being on the plus side of the face of the part, it moved it back apart.
No, yeah, but
Yeah, I know
but
what you
my Z when I opened it the first time the stock set up, my Z was already a -2. So when
Oh,
I
so
just made it,
your part is not on the 0 point, the crosshairs.
I guess not. I mean,
Okay.
'cause- is there a way
I'm
to
gonna make
change
it a
that
little
now that
longer.
we created it? I know that we can. I just forgot how to.
I'm gonna make it 8 inches long, so that
I
it's
Nick, hold up, bro. I'm trying to
no,
get
I'm
this.
just I'm spitballing here.
All right.
So
So
yeah, how do we change the origin of the part? Like you have your part right there being 0, 0, everything in the middle, but my X and Y, like the origin.
yeah, ordinarily when it comes in, when you import the model, that's where it's going to land.
That's what I
If,
thought so too. Yeah, but
if it did not, you can use the transform functions to move it around.
oh, and then drag it down, right?
Yeah, so I would get it positioned there on that origin. All right, first before you start any of the other operations.
But would it mess since I make the planes already? Would it mess with the planes, or everything will just move with it?
Well, you want to get your part positioned first,
And then do the planes.
then deal with the planes. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
All
are we
right.
setting this up so that we can actually make the part, or are we just setting it up so we can get experience with the Mastercam?
Well, it would be a better experience to do it as you would if you intend to make this.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
So in this case, there's no way of holding the stock. So my stock I should make is at least 7 inches long and -7 here, so that so I have something to hold on to.
I was gonna make it -6.9, so you have something on the face, but
Uh-huh.
you know what I mean,
All right.
or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I would
Add like 100
try to
thou.
simulate what you would do if you were setting this up to make it. So a little extra stock on the back there would be, we're not going to be able to machine that back edge because that's where we're holding the part.
Yeah, so I didn't even make a plane for that edge, to be honest.
No, we can't do any machining on the back edge of it. We really can't do the front face of it because, I mean, we could do the side of a tool, but we can't drill the hole in it because we can't stand the part up.
That would
Right,
be
so
up
we,
too, right?
if we did it on a 5-axis, we could do all the sides and then
But
stand it up.
we don't have a
But
5-axis.
but for the 4th axis, we would have to do it as a separate operation in a vise.
Okay, so we're not using the 2 side faces then, so I don't need.
So we intend to do. Let me get on here.
So the right side plane doesn't actually need to be a plane, really.
We're gonna do this pocket, this bank of holes here, this pocket, this bank of holes, this pocket, drill all through here, and machine the bottom square. All
Yeah,
right, we're gonna
okay.
do all of those sides, and then we should end mill the front here with a long tool. You might do it in this position after you've done the use, so you don't
Yeah,
need
like
too much
square
flute
that part,
length.
square that out. You mean?
Yeah,
All right,
but
so
then
I'll just
there's
add a
going to
little.
be extra material on the back here that you're holding on to, so you're going to have like a shoulder here.
Of course.
All right, so
let's do a little bit of a shoulder.
that's how I would attempt to do it. So I'm not going to go through the options to make these pockets or drill these holes, and you guys don't have that. So, but what I'd like to see you do organize your program, all right, so that you have an operation for each case. So I'm going to make my first operation here. I've got my stock now. I'm going to make my first operation. I should go in and set my tools sequentially, arrange my tools sequentially, and I could do my feed from my material. I'm using aluminum here as material. All right, so I'll get those set. This is 2024.
I set mine to 6061 because that's what we have in the shop.
All right, that's fine. You can select a different material if you like. You can do it in brass if you want.
The brass is not in the demo, so unfortunately.
Oh. All right, so then when I get to my first operation,
do we use an end mill for the facing cut, or can we use a face mill?
You can use a face mill if you want. So we've got this. I was starting with the top of this planer, so I could make my first operation.
So we set it to toolpath top plane, right? Top plane, and then
so I could do a face. I'm going to do from my solid part. Select the face.
Would a 2-inch face mill be good, or?
Yeah.
I think I'll use a 3-inch face mill because that's what we have, and I'm used to it.
2-inch face mills on there. Okay.
2 cut parameters. Oh, dynamic.
All right. So see, I got a warning here. The boundary does not lie in the construction plane. So what I need to do is make sure that I'm working in a plane. So on my operation, I want to go back to my planes, and I want to make sure that
so you want to make the plane you're working on, right? Because you're cutting out a lot, so I'm trying to figure it out.
While
So you said when you got the that error and then it says, "Do you wish to keep this operation?" You hit yes or no, Mr. Hagar.
Right, because I'm going to go into. So
so you went back into parameters, okay? And then.
Yep.
Oh, you're cutting out. I apologize. And where did you go after that? I can't hear you.
MT200, but every other beat is missing.
What's that, Ed?
MT200, but every other beat is missing.
So he was
Nobody
showing us
gets it done but me.
Working coordinate system, then tool plane.
You know, it looks like we should make more than one pass here because We're getting a lot of the face mill into the part with just one pass.
That's what I'm thinking too. I'm just gonna. I don't know how high I need to go. That's the problem.
I was just going to cut it into 2 passes.
Yeah, well, you could also have the computer do it for you, like depth cuts.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's what I'm having it do. But I don't know how high the feed plane should be, so I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it ½ inch and see what happens. Oh wait, the top of the stock is ½ inch. Oh, feed plane is 0.2. Top of stock is 100,000. Absolute depth is that. Oh, that worked. Mr. Hagar, we can't hear you, bro. Can you hear us?
I hear you. I don't hear him either, though.
Yeah, I hear you guys, but I don't hear him.
Yeah, no, I don't hear a thing.
He's muted, so I'm not surprised.
Maybe he doesn't want to talk to us anymore.
In any case, it'll be recorded on his end, so I think. I hope. If this is being recorded, I'm probably gonna go do things, work on this toolpath. When does this due, by the way? Today?
I think
I
so.
think that's what he said.
By 8:30? What? Oh, tomorrow by 8:30. Okay. This facing pass is taking forever to generate. Anyone else doing a dynamic facing pass, or is it just me?
I've just been watching. I didn't actually do any drawing yet.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm doing it as the lecture goes along because that's the best. No, Mr. Hagar, we can't hear you. Nothing. I can't, at least. I don't know about the rest of us.
How did we correct that issue with the stock boundary?
Not sure. I didn't get that issue.
So under parameters, under planes, you have top pocket, and then it says your other two tool. What do you have for tool plane under the settings?
Oh, I had it the top plane that I made for the
Okay,
you know,
so
yeah,
the-
you know that top plane you made for the top face?
yeah, but what should tool plane be? That should be top pocket. Also, what I made.
That should be the top, like whatever the hell you named it.
Okay, and what
know
about
what I mean?
the work coordinate system? Which one should that be?
I'm pretty sure pretty much everything should be that because you're doing it from that plane.
Okay.
And because XY is 0, it should be the same. I'm actually doing depth cuts, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to face all like 4 of the sides so that I have a square to work with instead of a circle. Just to make it easier for myself.
You're saying stock boundary not found. So when we set up our stock, it's X, it's 7 inches and then 5-inch diameter. Then it's the X is minus 7.0.
Yeah.
Tool settings from material, assign tool numbers,
Sequentially warn of duplicates because you never know.
all right, default pro, okay. So I hit that, hit okay. We're using a 2-inch face mill, right?
I'm using a 3-inch. Yeah, I'm using a 3-inch just because I'm used to it.
Okay.
But you can use a 2. You could use any face mill you really want to. Be honest. God, why did I do dynamic? It's taking forever.
For some reason, when I go to verify my face cut, the face mill kind of goes up in the z-axis a tiny bit before going for the next pass.
You can keep the tool down. There's a setting in the actual facing.
I put that on and it didn't.
I don't know.
But
it's not too big a deal, anyways. It's gonna increase your cycle time by a little bit, but.
Yo, Mark, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, Rich.
All right, check it out. So you had to set up your stock first. So remember, he was like 7 inches and then like 8 inches and stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually in it right now. If I go back to stock setup, I got it's 5 inches for the diameter. Then I got 7 inches here. Then the interview coordinates is minus 7.0. So it's the shape is from a cylinder. The axis is X. Display fit screen, wireframe.
Eggs, I think the eggs, the way he did it was they're actually supposed to give it like a minus. Fuck, what the hell is it called?
Yeah, minus 7.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so then you have it then.
Yeah, that's what I did. Now, that's all I should have to select, right?
I think so. I mean, that's what I did too. I mean, my solid imported wrong, so I had to do it again, but it kind of worked when I did it the second time around.
When you did display, did you do the shape from the solid or you did it from the cylinder, right? Yeah.
Well, no,
So,
yeah, because the cylinder is just it's just simulating the stack that is gonna get cut out. So once you select your planes, you don't have to do anything else on. Once you select the machine, which is the milling machine, you just have to select the plane that you want to machine. And,
so
and
that's
the
what
tool
I
and
did.
everything.
Toolpath here, operation one. If I select that, go into parameters. If you could go through it down yours with me. For tool, I have tool one, which is a 2-inch face mill.
Hold up. Let me open it again. My fault. Where did I left it? Let's see. Give me 1 second. Let me open it up. My computer is acting stupid right now. Hold up. 200 and it's practical. Here we go. All right, so far, I'll show you what I got, and then we can go through it. So starting from the properties, I got the milling default. Then the tool settings and the stock setup is usually what we have. So sequential tool for material, blah blah blah. Then on stock setup, I have the diameter as 5 inches, and then the length of 7 inches. And then my X, I have it on minus 7.0, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that's fine. And then on the planes, I did the same planes that he did on the demo. So the top plane and the side plane there.
Wait, tell me that one more time. So
On the planes, yeah, if you go on the tabs where it says not levels, planes, I only make the 2 planes, the ones that he did. So I have the one on the top of the stock where the pocket is.
yeah, that's the selected, the top one, the original, right?
Exactly. So what I was confused, what he just showed was you're supposed to select the C and the T to activate that plane. So right now the program knows whatever operations you're gonna be working on is gonna work from the origin that you just set up on that plane.
Okay.
So once you select C and T, then you go back to your tool paths.
Okay.
And then you go to the tool pad. Since you're only facing, just press face. Excuse me. Select that plane.
Yep. Hang on 1 second. I'm deleting